The NFL trade deadline is on Tuesday. Another very important day is also the presidential election, but there have been recent reports from insiders that the Patriots might actually be making player-for-player moves, whereas we originally thought the NFL trade deadline was just going to be for Patriots to throw away their roster and gain draft picks back while they're trying to rebuild. So we're going to break down 3 targets that they are possibly looking at in terms of position. Why? Because Josina Anderson tweeted this out saying, "I'm told the Patriots are monitoring the trade market to potentially add talent to wide receiver, okay, defensive tackle, not bad, but the main one here is the offensive tackle positions on the heels of the rousing 25-22 win over the New York Jets last week. Keep in mind the trade deadline is November 5th at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. So I want to break down 3 players that fit each of those positions, and personally I think that wouldn't necessarily be a bad fit for the Patriots, but doesn't mean it's going to come easy. Let's talk about the number 1 need here for New England, and that's an offensive tackle. A guard, a center, doesn't matter. Somebody on the offensive line that has blocked before in their life, we will take them. And I'm looking at Jack Conklin. He is currently playing for the Cleveland Browns, who despite their impressive win over the Ravens are also struggling this year, which is why I think they'd also be open to maybe tweaking their roster. So why Jack Conklin? What should you know? He's the starting right tackle for the Browns, so he does have experience being a starting offensive lineman. That's great. Signed an extension through 2026, so he's still got 2 more years left, averaging a salary of $15 million. Thankfully, the Patriots have over $42 million in cap space, so they should be able to take on the salary that Jack Conklin has right now with the Browns and be able to pay that off and also get some good assets out of it. And he's currently ranked by PFF the 23rd best right tackle. So let's look at those PFF grades, shall we? 72 overall when it comes to his blocking. When you look at the pass block, that's actually what we need here. We need to give Drake Maye more time to be able to be in the pocket and make those throws. If you're going to draft a quarterback with a cannon of an arm and not put an army in front of him that's going to protect him to allow him to use that cannon of an arm, then what the hell are you doing? But Ramondre Stevenson could also use some help. I mean, poor Austin Hooper, the tight end, is your second best run blocker on this team. Get him some help with 68.4. And immediately, I think this takes the offensive line to a step further. Step above. When you have Ben Brown here at your center because David Andrews had a season-ending injury, this allows Mike Onwenu to now move back inside next to Ben Brown. And I really have not liked Demontre Jacobs at right tackle. I think he's a liability. I think there's about 3 flags thrown on him every single game. I think that he doesn't do well when it comes to protecting Drake Maye's blind side, or if he has to go on the other side of it, when it comes to the second half of this football game. So I think if you were to add somebody like Jack Conklin, your right side gets 10 times more strong just by one roster move. And it doesn't really take that much to go out and get somebody like this. And I asked Matthew Peterson, who does host our Browns channel here, what would it take to get Jack Conklin? And he said, well, we also have a rookie contract right now for an offensive tackle that's taking up a lot of our salary. So we'd be willing to get rid of his salary and give it to the Patriots. And it wouldn't take that much, only a 6th-round draft pick. But the only thing is there has been no rumors or insiders or analysts saying that they are open to trading Jack Conklin. So Elliott Wolf may have to work some magic. Let me ask you guys this question. Would you accept this trade? Type A for accept, type D for decline in the comment section down below. I'm going to A. Honestly, we are so thin offensive line that I think anybody would be a upgrade by the NFL trade deadline. But I am going to tell you guys about 2 more targets I want to talk about here by the trade deadline in just a second. But first, I do want to tell you guys about our sponsor here on Patriots Today by Chat Sports, and that's Game Time. This is the only place that I go to get tickets to any sporting event, comedy show, maybe even a nice little concert if it's near you. And the reason why I love Game Time is for multiple reasons, but I love the fact that it's all-in pricing. I love that when you go to checkout, there are no surprise hidden fees. You're not going to go and spend $300 on a ticket. You go to checkout, and it turns out to be $700. That's the number one reason why I love Game Time, and I know you're always going to find the lowest price. So I'm a little bit of a budgeter. I love me some coupons. So if I know this app is going to get me the lowest price guaranteed, it's on my home screen right now. And the beauty of it is that when you do decide to spend your hard-earned money on a ticket, well, they give you a nice little panoramic 180 3D view from your seat to make sure this is the view you want to spend your money on. I mean, it is an app for you to enjoy your experience and spend your money the right way. So if you guys want to go on ahead and get started using Game Time, let me tell you about one more feature. It's called Game Time Picks. It makes getting tickets to your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands and thousands of tickets. Download the Game Time app today, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today because what time is it? It's game time. Bear with me here, because this would be huge. Wide receiver Tee Higgins from the Cincinnati Bengals. Let's talk about it. Here's what you should know about Tee Higgins and his situation right now in Cincinnati. Higgins already requested a trade from the Bengals this offseason. And guess what? They didn't grant it. They also had a little bit of Jamar Chase holding out in practice, and you really weren't sure what kind of Jamar Chase you were going to get this year. So maybe that's why they didn't want to let go of Tee Higgins. But he's currently playing on a franchise tag, and boy, oh boy, does he not seem happy in Cincinnati. And you do have the cap space to take on a big-name wide receiver that Elliott Wolf seemingly does not want to spend. You're getting a guy in his prime, and we know that Elliott Wolf, being the GM right now, wants to bring in a top wide receiver. He has said that before. And they've already tried numerous times to do this, and unfortunately have failed. But now that they see Drake Maye in full action, I think that it could change some wide receivers' minds. So the swing and misses they've had so far in the offseason is that Calvin Ridley, a big-time free agent, ended up signing with the Titans. We'll see you on Sunday, Calvin Ridley. How's that working for you and your 1-6 record, 1-7 record? Deebo Samuel, obviously, he re-signed with the 49ers. And then we really tried for Brandon Ayuk. He ended up re-signing with the 49ers because he said that there's too much of a question mark around the quarterback position, which is why I don't want to come to New England. Well, that question mark has been answered with Drake Maye. So maybe Tee Higgins, because in my opinion, we're talking about a top 5 receiver in the NFL. Now, I know Higgins probably won't want to come to New England right off the bat. We're not the flashiest in the league anymore. You know, R.I.P. to Tom Brady, who decided to retire. Not dead. But knowing that Tee Higgins might want to go to a contender, well, the Patriots have the money to pay him. So it will just depend on whether or not Tee Higgins wants to go play for a contender or if he wants to get that back, because he immediately upgrades Drake Maye's entrance into the NFL. Just this year, in 5 games alone, 29 receptions on 45 targets, 341 yards. I mean, that's got to be more than majority of our wide receivers. And then 3 touchdowns on the year. And I will be honest, knowing that Tee Higgins does mean a lot to Cincinnati and Joe Burrow, this would be a little bit of a big stretch. I don't know if we can pull this off by the NFL trade deadline, but Higgins is also about to enter free agency, but the only dice you kind of roll there is knowing that Tee Higgins may sign with another team by the time that you do have NFL trade deadline. So he can go to a contender like the Commanders, the Steelers, the Buccaneers right now, and they could sign him to a massive deal, which means you wouldn't have Tee Higgins in free agency. So that's kind of a gamble you have to play there. But once again, Cincinnati has not said whether or not they're open to trading Tee Higgins either. So I wanted to give this trade idea to Cincinnati. We get Tee Higgins. In return, you get 31-year-old cornerback Jonathan Jones and a 2025 second-round pick. It's a tough bargain because I know we're rebuilding. I know you don't want to give up a possible second-round pick, but it's Tee Higgins, baby. This is what you have to cost, and their secondary is ass. So they could use somebody like cornerback Jonathan Jones. If you guys want Tee Higgins to be in the navy and red, go on ahead and spam T in the comment section if you guys want him by the NFL trade deadline or maybe even at least in free agency. But I'm not done with Cincinnati just yet. Let's talk about the defensive tackle. I'm definitely going to put this on number 3 of list of priorities that we need at the deadline, but it definitely can't hurt upgrading at that defensive spot. Let's talk about B.J. Hill. This is a phenomenal player for Cincinnati. I'm going to be outright. He's in the final year of his 3-year, $30 million deal where the Giants traded him to the Cincinnati Bengals, and boy, has it paid off. And he's a little bit older, 29 years old. By the time he plays next season for the Patriots, if he does, he will be 30. But he is the number 14 interior defensive lineman in the NFL by PFF. And look, there is no shade thrown to Devon Gottschall or maybe even a Keon White or anybody that's going to be on your 3-4 front, but something's not working because your run defense is kind of ass and your pass rush has been non-existent. And that's why I think if you were to somehow swing B.J. Hill, he's going to improve your roster immediately. When you look at what he brings to the field in terms of PFF grades, and I know a lot of you guys take PFF grades with a grain of salt, but let me tell you this. These numbers blow any number that the Patriots 3-4 front has. He now becomes your top defender overall. 79.6 overall defensive grade. His pass rush is 74. His run defense is 72.5. If you guys don't know what these numbers mean, I'm just going to simplify it for you. It's really, really good. But let's talk about what it would cost to trade him. A 2025 fifth-round pick. That's all it would be. A round higher than the 6th-round pick you would possibly try and give for Jack Conklin. I do think this is very feasible to go out and get somebody like B.J. Hill. The only thing with the Patriots, once again, is that they are not contenders for the postseason. B.J. Hill will want to go to the Lions, will want to go to the Chiefs, will want to go to the Ravens. He wants to win. And unfortunately, the Patriots haven't done a lot of that this year. So it is going to have to be something that you're going to have to offer him a massive deal if he wants to take the money over the wins. And I don't know how many players will do that right now, believe it or not. So I have this question for you guys right here. Because honestly, I'm not on the train for trading for players. I'm not. I am on the train of trading away players for draft picks. I think this season needs to be what it is. Rebuild and go out and get a top draft pick. And I've said that from day one. But if they do trade for a player like BJT or Jack, I'm not mad at it. So let me know what you guys think. Trade for a player or trade away the players they already have. Let me know your thoughts down below. And as always, do one thing for me and subscribe.